Hello everyone. Welcome to our channel. Today, we're diving into a topic that's probably weighing on many of your minds, especially when thinking about the future. How to make a smart decision about when to retire, avoiding regrets that could have been prevented. But first, picture this. You've spent decades working hard, building enough wealth to live comfortably, yet instead of embracing those years of freedom, you keep grinding away at your job, only to wake up one day with a sudden health scare, a stroke or a cancer diagnosis, that shatters all your plans. That's the pain I've seen in countless clients over my 20-plus years as a financial advisor. They had the money, but they delayed, and as a result, they missed out on precious moments that could have been filled with true joy. Today's content will help you recognize the importance of acting at the right time, giving you not just financial peace of mind but a fuller life, where health, time, and money align perfectly. We'll dig into real-life lessons, my own personal experiences, and how to balance early retirement without going to extremes. Let's get started. As a financial advisor with over 2 decades of experience guiding hundreds of clients, I've witnessed countless stories of people who succeeded financially but failed to enjoy the fruits of their labor. They reached a point where their bank accounts were robust, their retirement funds were solid, and their investments were generating steady returns, yet they hesitated to retire. Why? Sometimes it's the fear of change, sometimes it's the comfort of routine, or simply the belief that one more year will make things better. But the harsh reality is that life doesn't wait. I vividly remember one client, a successful entrepreneur in his 60s, who had long planned for retirement. He had enough money to travel the world, spend time with family, and pursue personal hobbies. But he kept putting it off, thinking he needed just a bit more to be absolutely secure. Then, out of nowhere, a stroke hit, landing him in the hospital for months. The years that followed, he no longer had the health to chase the dreams he'd put on hold. Similarly, another client, a marketing professional, discovered late-stage cancer after years of working overtime to build more wealth. She had the funds for treatment, but the joyful moments and trips she'd dreamed of were gone forever. Stories like these aren't rare, and they teach us a costly lesson. Money only matters when you have the health and time to use it. If you're in a similar spot, wondering whether you should retire earlier, this content is for you. We'll explore how to spot the right moment, avoid common pitfalls, and build a plan to live without regrets. Now, let's talk about the simple joys we often postpone and why they matter so much. Imagine strolling along Miami Beach in Florida, feeling the soft sand under your feet, listening to the waves crash gently, and breathing in the fresh air without a single worry about deadlines or meetings. These aren't extravagant dreams. They're basic experiences everyone deserves. Yet, from my experience, many people push these moments to, when I retire, thinking that's the right time. The problem? That right time might come later than expected, or, worse, not at all. I worked with a couple, both engineers, with a net worth exceeding $2 million. They dreamed of traveling through Europe and Latin America, but they delayed because they wanted their kids to be settled first. The result? When they finally decided to retire, the husband was diagnosed with heart disease, and those trips became a burden instead of a joy. This hit me hard. Life isn't about waiting, it's about acting when you can. So, I want to share this with you. If you've reached a point of financial security, meaning you have enough passive income from investments, retirement funds, or insurance, consider taking that next step. Don't let simple joys slip away just because of hesitation. Shifting to a more personal perspective, I want to share my own journey to show you these insights aren't just theoretical. I retired at 69 after a long career in finance, where I helped clients grow their wealth from nothing to millions. Looking back, I wish I'd retired 3 to 5 years earlier. Why? Because in my mid-60s, I still had robust health, high energy, and could have enjoyed activities that are tougher now. I spent too much time working, thinking a few more years would bring greater financial security, but in reality, the benefits weren't worth what I gave up. For example, I could have spent time hiking in the Rockies or learning golf with friends instead of sitting in an office crunching numbers. This taught me that if you have the means to retire early, you should do it. Of course, early doesn't mean extreme. It's about balancing financial stability with quality of life. I recommend reassessing your situation. Calculate your monthly living expenses, estimate income from passive sources like stocks, bonds, or real estate, and ensure you have an emergency fund for at least 2 to 3 years. Once everything's in place, that step will open up a new world. While I advocate for early retirement, I have to critique a popular movement today: FIRE, or financial independence, retire early. This movement pushes extreme saving to retire in your 30s or 40s, but in my view, it's often too radical and can lead to unnecessary sacrifices. I've met people pursuing FIRE who cut out all non-essential spending, worked 80-hour weeks, and missed out on key life experiences. For instance, some delayed having kids out of fear it would derail their financial plans, or they skipped enjoying their youth. No travel, no investing in relationships, just to retire as early as possible. The result? When they retired, they had money but lacked life skills, purpose, or sometimes regretted missing meaningful milestones. I'm not against financial independence, it's a great foundation. But retirement isn't a race, it's a balanced journey. Think of it this way, if you sacrifice your youth to retire early, you might miss moments that can't be regained, like starting a family or pursuing creative passions. Instead, I suggest a gentle FIRE approach. Save smart, invest diversely, but still live fully in the present. For example, allocate 20% of your income to savings, 10% to experiences, and the rest to daily needs. This way, you can achieve financial independence without giving up too much. One big reason people struggle to let go of work is that it provides comfort and validation. Let's be honest, work isn't just income, it's part of your identity. You're respected by colleagues, have a clear schedule, and feel useful daily. I advised a bank executive who, despite having enough wealth to retire, kept working because he feared losing that recognition. He asked, "If I retire, who am I?" It's a common question. But consider this: true freedom, control over your schedule, waking up without an alarm, pursuing new hobbies, or even starting a small venture, is worth the risk. From my experience, those who push past this fear often find new purpose, like volunteering, learning new skills, or spending time with family. For a smoother transition, I suggest a retirement trial run. Take a 3 to 6 month extended break to test life without work. During that time, track your spending, mental health, and whether you can adapt. If it works, the bigger step will feel easier. Remember, the risk here isn't financial. It's an investment in long-term happiness. With thorough financial planning and a solid emergency fund, retirement can bring a more fulfilling life than ever. I always stress that this is a personal choice, not blanket financial advice, as every situation is unique. But consider these steps. First, calculate your retirement number, typically 25 to 30 times your annual living expenses, based on the 4% rule, withdrawing 4% annually without depleting your savings. For example, if you need $50,000 a year, you'll need $1.25 to $1.5 million. Next, diversify investments. Combine growth stocks, stable bonds, and perhaps real estate for passive income. Don't forget health insurance and an emergency fund for 6 to 12 months. Once these are set, retirement isn't a dream, it's reality. I had a client, a teacher who retired at 55, who used her time to write a book and travel. Her life became richer, and she called it her best decision. Of course, it's not for everyone. If work truly brings you joy, keep going. But if you're feeling burned out, now's the time to reconsider. A key concept I want to introduce is the golden phase of retirement, when 3 factors align: good health, ample time, and sufficient wealth. From my observations, this phase often peaks in your 50s, when you still have energy for activities, your kids are grown, and your finances are stable after years of work. Studies from groups like AARP show that people retiring in this phase report higher satisfaction because they can play sports, travel, or learn without worrying about declining health. Conversely, waiting until your 60s or 70s might mean more money but less energy. I recommend assessing yourself. Get annual health checkups, estimate your life expectancy based on lifestyle, and adjust your plan accordingly. For example, if your family has a history of heart disease, prioritize retiring earlier. This golden phase is a rare opportunity. Don't miss it thinking just a bit more. Speaking of delaying just one more year, this is a common mistake I see. Financially, an extra year of work might boost your retirement fund by 5 to 10% through salary and investments. But the benefits are often small compared to the risks. Prolonged stress can shorten your lifespan. Harvard studies show chronic work stress raises heart disease risk by 40% and cuts life expectancy by 2 to 3 years on average. I had a lawyer client who delayed retirement 2 years to save more, only to face depression and health issues. The financial gain? Just $100,000 more, but the medical costs and emotional toll were far greater. So, weigh it carefully. If you're 80 to 90% toward your financial goal, an extra year might not be worth it. Focus on quality of life. That's the real investment. Uncertainty about the future is the biggest barrier holding people back. What if the market crashes? What if I get bored? These are familiar questions. But think of it like leaving home for college. It's scary at first, but once you take the leap, few regret it. Retirement is a similar jump, but with a good plan, you'll adapt. I suggest building a safety net. Stay connected to your professional network in case you need to return to work or try part-time gigs. From experience, most of my clients who retire find new joys, and only 5 to 10% return to full-time work. Don't let fear stop you. Embrace uncertainty as opportunity. Finally, let's talk about adjusting to retirement. The first few months often feel like a long vacation. You relax, travel, and savor freedom. But the real adjustment comes later, when you need new routines. There might be a lull, where you feel directionless. To navigate this, plan activities. Join a club, take online courses, or volunteer. Once you settle in and find new meaning, like writing a finance blog or spending time with grandkids, life becomes fulfilling and worthwhile. I've seen this in myself and my clients. Retirement isn't an end, it's a beginning. Thank you for watching until the end. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Please leave a comment below sharing one thing you learned today and how you plan to apply it in your life. Your insights mean a lot to us, so don't hesitate to share. Reading your comments gives us motivation and encouragement. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us keep creating content to inform and inspire you. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.